Hey guys, what's up? Producer engineer Alex Scott here with Consordini.com, coming at you with another super cool studio gear review. Today we're talking about drum machines. This adorable little creature right here is the Akai Rhythm Wolf, and it is one of my kind of secret weapons of hip-hop and trap and EDM production. It's a really, really interesting little box, and a really affordable one at that, which I absolutely love. You know, who doesn't love cheap, cool gear? This thing, I don't think they even actually make it anymore, but you can find them used all over the place, eBay, Reverb, that kind of thing, and they shouldn't cost you more than about 150 bucks. So when Akai originally designed and released these, the Rhythm Wolf, and then it has sort of a brother called the Tomcat, or sister or comrade, or whatever you want to say, which I actually have one right over here just out of frame. But they're both the exact same form factor, and they're both two different variations on a really simple, concise, and very interesting sounding analog drum machine. There's actually a lot of negative press about these units all over the web and stuff, and I feel like they get a lot of hate that they don't deserve, because people, I feel like, they aren't looking at them how they should. You know, if you were to buy the Rhythm Wolf expecting to get a really full-featured, you know, really overall great sounding, versatile drum machine, yes, you would absolutely be disappointed, because it's not really designed to do that. The Arturia Drum Brute, my very blinky friend here, he's designed to be that kind of all-purpose. You can use it for trance or techno or down-tempo house or hip-hop or whatever. You know, super versatile sounds, that kind of a thing. Look at the Drum Brute. If you want nasty and snatty and dirty and glitchy and weird and almost upsetting at times, you reach for the Rhythm Wolf. The sounds in it are completely unique. They're unlike any other drum machine I've ever heard before. They're really grimy and dirty. The filters on everything don't react exactly how you might expect them to, but in a really good and really fun way, and that's why I love it, and I actually use it a lot. Not as a dedicated drum machine where it's doing my whole beat from top to bottom, hi-hats, kick, snare, percussion, all that. It only has open and closed hat, a little percussion sound, snare, and kick. So doing anything lusher than those five very simple elements, or even four, really, hi-hat, you know, you're not going to be able to do. It's limited in that sense. But as you guys will hear in a second when we bring the camera over, the sounds that it does make are just totally weird and totally unexpected. So it's great for layering alongside other drum machines and using, you know, the snare for its weird resonance, and, you know, using the kick drum to get some kind of interesting 808-y stuff, you know, real sub-bass stuff going on. And then it also has this incredibly cool included distortion circuit right on board, so you can distort the crap out of everything, and it'll get real dirty real quick. So let's scoot the camera over and take a listen to some of the sounds. Okay guys, so here is the Akai Rhythm Wolf. As you can see, it's a pretty typical drum machine layout, everything you'd expect. We have a step sequencer down at the bottom, which the keys for which actually feel awesome. I really, really like them. Trigger pads for each sound, and then all of the, you know, kind of parameters that you would expect on each of those sounds, and then your sort of normal controls, a little play, stop over here, fills and variations, which you can compose kind of larger, longer patterns and almost songs, quote unquote, on this thing. And then shift to get to the second layer of commands down here, mute and solo options for the various instruments, all that kind of typical stuff that you would expect from any drum machine. This one is just a little bit smaller and doesn't have quite as many options. Now, the first thing that I'll point out, there is a bass synth here, a quote-unquote bass synth, that we're not actually really going to be taking a look at. It uses a separate output and a separate MIDI control circuit, so I don't actually have it connected right now. But suffice to say, it's a very simple, basic, kind of acid-y sounding bass synthesizer. If you have no clue how synthesis works, this is a great synth to start, because you have very simple knobs, two waveforms. It's going to show you the most bare bones and kind of basic components of a synthesizer, you know, if you're just getting started with that kind of thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at each sound. We've got our kick here. Boost the volume a little bit. And that, it's a really low, really subby kick, especially when you pull that decay out. We also have attack, which is kind of an impact type sound. We also have tuning, which obviously controls the pitch, and then your volume control. Moving, but this is this is where you can get really, low, subby, kind of 808, drawn out, real hip hop, trap style kicks. Snare drum, not a huge tuning range, and you can take away the snares, and then you can, pull the decay all the way out to almost silly levels, and almost end up with just a white noise generator. Percussion, you have a high tune, which there's a high frequency component, and then kind of a noise component. And then you have a low frequency component. So you can go from kind of clave-ish to more of a rim shot kind of a thing. Hi-hats, open and closed are on the same circuit. We just have tune and decay on hi-hats. One thing that I gripe with a little bit is the fact that the open hat is really not a whole lot longer than the closed hat, and their decay is controlled by the same knob. So you're kind of stuck to more or less one hi-hat sound. And that's really all there is to it. It's just that simple. But again, the idea, if we try to do a real basic, kind of classic drum pattern here, just a simple little boots and cats kind of a... you can hear that's really not particularly exciting to anyone sonically. It's where this thing really starts to shine is when you start thinking of it in a really unusual manner. So we can clear all that, and then let's maybe try something like this. This is really how I think about this drum machine. Something really unusual, something really unexpected. Sorry, we keep bumping the camera there. And that gets even cooler when we start to bring in this distortion circuit. And you've got this onboard overdrive that just makes everything sound super nasty and super gritty. Also adds a lot of gain. There's without. And there it is with. So yeah, it's a really unique sounding item. It sounds unlike any other drum machine out there. And that's why I think of it as more of a layering tool. The kick drum is actually okay. I could see using that as a primary kick in a track or in a beat. But like the snares, real snatty and weird. The hi-hats are kind of funky. The percussion definitely has some weird timbre to it. But if you start to think outside the box, and if you were to layer that in with, on a second synthesizer, something like the drum brute here, something that's a little bit more typical in terms of drum sounds, you can start creating some incredibly cool and unique sounding drum layers in your tracks without having to spend a whole lot of money for that second device to add that extra layer of creativity and grit to your sound. So there you go. That is the Akai Rhythm Wolf. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I think this thing gets a bad rap because people they don't look at it with the right perspective. Again, if you want something super versatile, look elsewhere. Look for something like the Drum Brute or Roland's Boutique series or something like that has more of those classic sounds. But the Rhythm Wolf, if you just want weird, if you're a fan of like Nine Inch Nails, those kinds of drum sound, Radiohead, real glitchy, real dirty, it's such a great thing to have around. You might not use it every single day, you might not use it on every single song, but as far as a unique element that not many other producers are going to have in their kind of sonic arsenal, and again, something you can pick up for super cheap, really, really easily. You know, they're not hundreds and hundreds or thousands of dollars. It's a cheap unit, it's easy to connect, it's got USB straight in on the back, the controls are super simple, it's easy to program beats, easy to sync over USB to your computer. All good things. So again, guys, my name is Alex Scott here with Consordini.com. Thank you so much for watching another one of our video reviews. What do you think of the Rhythm Wolf? Are you somebody out there who I see on some of these forums going, that thing's terrible, don't buy one? If you are, we would love to hear from you. Or if you're a fellow Rhythm Wolf enthusiast like myself, whatever your opinions are, we would love to hear them down in the comments section below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it, and we will see you in the next video.